All right. Welcome everyone to today's live stream. It's Monday, first day of the week, and finally we are back after a long, terribly boring weekend, because all I was thinking was, when can we get back to live stream? And look at you, Ayush. You look beautiful. You have the camera is forward facing. Now finally we can see the full person that is Ayush. And you get a little nice purple in the background as well. What happened? Are you like, because last week you had the red background?
Yeah.
Are we going like red and then purple and then a green?
So I'm trying out all the lights I have, and I'm just testing each and which looks better.
Well, I think this one is good. But good contrast. I have a lot of green behind me because I do feel a little bit do feel bullish today. So what are we thinking? What are we thinking about the markets here today?
So if we look at daily time frame, we got a very massive sell volume in the morning. And if like morning in India, but in Asia session, we saw really good bearish movement. But I don't think so that we are going below, because currently we are in just high time frame supply area in Ethereum. So I feel still we need Ethereum to do something, or maybe break out of this range, because I can see trend line forming here and also to the upside. So what I'm expecting is that price actually squeezed lower really well, and now just waiting for a good volume for the upside. But we also have good number of volume build up in this area. That's why it's getting really difficult to break below. So if we get a retrace, take all this low first and again continue the bull rally, because we have a double top of kind of setup, and this is not an actual higher time frame supply area for me. So it's still looking for longs. And if you look at Tau, this is the best pair which I can say to trade during weekends, because it had really great volume, and also you can use with correlation of Ethereum and Bitcoin, not 100% like, not 90% like we have for Doge, but yeah, you can still use it for some scalps on lower time frame. And yeah, for now I feel we still need some good volume to break on one side in Ethereum, then we'll see good trend formation for Bitcoin as well.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. Can you tell me about you said it's the best pair to trade during the weekend, that you look at Tau, and then you said the correlation with Ethereum and Bitcoin. Can you kind of explain what you mean with and how you can trade that correlation?
Yeah. So if we talk about Doge really have, if we talk about correlation in percentage, the best pair to trade with correlation of Ethereum and Bitcoin is Doge, and it also has similar volume like Doge and Ethereum and BTC. But if you look at Tau, it has different structure. If you look at higher time frame, you can see that this pair is also doing differently, but with a very great volume. And if you look at lower time frames, it is really easy to scalp here, because I've seen I got charged really less commission on this pair if I am trying to scalp on lower time frames. So if I have to put lowest commission pair with good volume, better than BTC and Ethereum, this one will be the best. Then on second number I'll put Doge, and third for I'll put BTC and Ethereum. And also the movement is also mechanical. The way I mark supply demand zone in Ethereum and BTC, it is same here as, let me show you guys that this is a supply zone which we had in Tau, and we got really good reaction from there. And also the best thing to do with Tau is if you use Orderflow. Volume profile is something which is really going to beneficial in this pair. So what I did is I have to switch to my, let me switch to my Orderflow chart.
Yep. And the Orderflow chart here, this is the one was it MMT or MGT?
MMT, yeah.
MMT, okay.
Yeah. So if we so currently we have Bitcoin really went nicely lower because price reacted from low volume node and directly ranging where we have high volume node. That's why it's getting really difficult for price to go more lower. And if we search for let's say tau on this pair, yeah, so you can actually see what and this is nothing but limit orders placed at the price level. So I like to use instead of order book because it is the same thing and it actually saves a lot of time. And here also we have, now one good thing is that you guys can see that price is failing to go below our value area low because we have good number of buyer holding the price. And let me go to trading view because we have, what I do is that if I'm trying to scalp a coin which is really at low price, then I look at where is the value area low and where is the low volume node, and look for limit order placed in that area, and I try to combine them with the supply demand zone which I mark at higher time frame. So for now, I think in morning the value area low was at different level, but you guys can see that we have good number of bull holding this area. And if we switch back to trading view, give me a minute. Okay, so if we switch back to trading view, we had the support zone on daily time frame. That's why price failed to go below. So what I do is always combine the higher time frame candle wicks with the low volume node and the limit orders I see in the order book, and it really helps me to scalp, or maybe if I'm selling from the top, it helps me to cancel my order and save some profits.
All right, nice. Yeah, that makes sense. Good explanation there, guys. In the comment section, let me know if you guys have. Whoa, look at that! We got Boris. Boom! He's popped up on my screen. It's not on your screen yet, but it's on my screen. Look at that! What hey, Boris. So, guys, here in the comment section, you're gonna see in a bit. Boris gonna pop up, and let's see. Does he have a plant, or does he not have a plant? I can't say. Hey, we have a plant. We have a plant, everyone. Redis. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot my power cable at home. So.
Oh my God, Roman in the background saying you need to connect your power cable, and Boris, obviously, as you all can hear, doesn't have a power cable. He brought the plant, but he forgot the power cable.
My battery should last quite a bit.
Yeah.
This is.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hope for the best.
Yeah, we'll figure this one out.
The plans.
I think we'll manage. I think we'll
let me just I'll turn off my VPN. Just I might cut out for 1 sec.
Yep. No worries. Guys, we have some exciting news as well. Next week, I'm thinking we're going to be expanding into 3 hours, hopefully. Hopefully, if everything runs as plans, sometime now in the beginning of May, I want to extend the live stream into 3 hours. So starting 1 hour earlier. So that's going to be good. Which means more shit on trading. More. I'm going to log into my account and we're going to see if I'm gonna say more money to be made or more money to be lost. Well, this account does not look good. I'm not even gonna show you the account. I mean, I'm up like 1,500 on XLM, which is this, it's pretty. I can show you XLM trade here. Just a really good one. I need to share my screen. By the way, Roman, can I log in with the same link and share another screen share? Or do I need another link? Yeah, give me another link and I will share yeah, Boris is just gonna reconnect to the live stream here, and we'll. Okay, so I got another link here from Roman, so I'm just gonna share my Tradeify window, so I don't have to, I don't have to switch between them all the time.
So Beto J Freak is asking that which indicator I'm using on MMT, Orderflow. So I'm on Orderflow volume based trader. So I'm using order book profile and TPO volume bubbles only when I'm trading, and volume profile visible range to get a proper idea where we have like low volume nodes and high volume nodes. And I combine it with
like the live stream. Oh, sorry, Ayush, I'm just yelling, just interrupting you. I'm sorry about that. But it's just, I saw that we have 25 people watching and only 11 likes. And that is the impulsive nature in me just wanted to scream, hit the like, which is very rude of me. So I'm sorry about that, Ayush.
No, that's all fine. I think we are getting good views in the beginning. Like we never got 25 in the starting. So yeah, good number to have.
That's obviously because you have a new haircut, you have a new background, and you repositioned your camera. So now everyone is sending their link to the grandma and the mother and the girlfriend. Say, hey guys, check out Ayush. We need more. We need a more Ayush.
Oh God.
Okay, I am. Holy shit, guys! I'm $50 from losing this account, but I was $50 from losing the account, but now I'm up 1,500 on equity. But you can see on my balance right here, it's 94,050, and the stop out, I believe, on this one is 6%, which means about $50 away from losing this account, because I went crazy last week on the shorting. I completely had a bad read on the whole market. We can look at the Bitcoin trade, got stopped out on that one. But I think if we're going to reverse here, I don't know. The market is weird.
I'm not feeling my Bitcoin long anymore, to be honest, Jonathan. I would be short. Like, you can always try again. And even if your idea is right, it's wrong at the first attempt, it's going to be right the second time. So I'm not looking, I don't like the look of the daily. We're getting like a strong, we try to break above the highs from Wednesday, kind of failed. And I don't like this candle structure at all. Like, this is looking quite weak to me. So still my Bitcoin long, still like a little bit underwater, but the more and more it just sits here, the more and more nervous I'm getting. And I actually put on a couple of short hedges on XRP and on Data Network today to protect my long exposure. So I guess we could go into that later.
Yeah, definitely. I've done some research on. I was writing an article this morning on Bitcoin, and I went through a few newsletter subscription that I have to kind of get a good read on. The first one is 42 Macro, which I believe is a very good good service for those of you who want to be more in tune on the macro. And then I've found something very interesting. There is an analyst called Michael Howell. I think Michael Howell, and he runs Cross Border Capital. He has a Substack newsletter called Capital Wars. I'm subscribed to that one, and then I'm also subscribed to 42 Macro. And one of the reasons I'm subscribed to both of them is because Michael Howell says that we're in a declining liquidity phase, and Darius Dale at 42 Macro says that we are in an expanding liquidity phase. So I'm trying now to understand what are their reasons at 42 Macro to think that we're actually in an expanding liquidity phase. And I believe that now, again, I am no expert at macro analysis. Again, like I've told you guys before, I am an expert at technical analysis, but I am viewing like my interest in macro of more of a hobby, and I like it, and I want to learn more about it. So I'm kind of looking into that, and it seems that 42 Macro, they're talking about how now we're going to have Kevin Wars most likely, because the attorney that was working on the case against Powell, they dropped the charges on Powell. They basically said we're not going to pursue criminal investigation into Fed Chairman Powell. If you guys want to know the context of that, Powell oversaw a renovation of the Federal Reserve building, and it cost billions, right? And Trump, most likely what Trump did was because of, he was basically targeting Powell as his political enemy, saying that we're going to start a criminal investigation into Powell. And then one senator that could approve the new Fed chair said, unless you drop the charges against Fed Chair Powell, we're not going to approve the new Fed Chair Powell, which Trump wants to have approved because he's going to most likely lower interest rate. So now they dropped the criminal investigation, and that senator is going to approve Kevin Warsh, which means this week's FOMC is most likely going to be Fed Chair Powell's last official FOMC before the new Fed chair comes into power, which is Kevin Warsh. And Kevin Warsh has said that he is looking into the option of changing the static view of the inflation target being 2%. And this is something that Darius Dale of 42 Macro has talked about for years, how the arbitrary 2% target might be raised to 3%. Now, if the inflation target gets raised to 3%, that leaves more room for inflation to rise, so they can print more money and inject more money into the economy without inflation getting too high. And that, I believe, is the basis of Darius Dale's view that liquidity will be continuing to expand, and also the fiscal dominance and the government policies in combination with the strong AI narrative driving productivity in the US market might propel the economy further than what we think. And that's the view that 42 Macro has, right? And then if you look at Michael Howell of Cross Border Capital, he has another view where he basically look at the global liquidity cycle, and he says that global liquidity is declining. And he also thinks that the business cycle is contracting, which is then going to be a risk-off scenario. So I'm doing some research on this, and I'm trying to find out where are they fundamentally not agreeing with each other. Because I think that if I can get to the source of that and understand what that means, then that will answer the question of why Bitcoin is underperforming, and if we're going to go back in a bull market or not. And before we started this live stream, Roman, our producer in the background, had an interesting question. You know, he first asked me, what's the difference between the futures market and crypto? And then he asked me, do I need any like financial knowledge to be a trader? And all of the things that I talked about here, you don't have to understand any of that. You don't have to know any of that to be a trader. If you're using technical analysis, you can literally just draw a couple of lines on the chart, do it consistently with low risk, and actually be profitable on this. All right, thank you everyone for coming to my TED Talk. If you want more information
So
like this, you
was
can
a great
send.
TED talk. Thank you.
Do you agree with that, Boris? Do you agree that you can be a profitable trader without even having any idea about how the economy works?
Yeah, I mean, I know traders who just they're not at their desk. They're just riding around on trains and their scooters, and they're on their phone, and they're just drawing trend lines on TradingView and making trades, and they're profitable. And they have no idea what's going on in the world or in the economy. So, if anything, I think it's bad to analyze economic data because you just have more things to analyze, and that leads to analysis paralysis, which is like a term that means like you have so many different variables and factors to look at that you start doubting your own decisions. And maybe just keep it simple, like just draw your lines and just forget everything.
But I wouldn't say it's bad, right? I wouldn't say it's bad. I mean, I think there's levels to it, right? Like you said, I mean, if you look at traders at firms like
yeah, it depends on your strategy. If you're a long-term investor, like a long-term trader, like a swing trader who's holding positions for weeks to months, then of course you have to pay attention to what's happening in the macro. But I feel like if you're a scalper, then it really doesn't matter at all.
No, not at all. I mean, if you look at firms like SMB Capital, Mike Balav, whatever, something, I can't remember his last name.
Yeah, I watched a lot of his videos,
Yeah, very good stuff. And the book, by the way, One Good Trade, could highly recommend that to people. Very good book. Let's see if I can find it later. Anyway, so at S&P Capital, they have actually in my CMT studies, there's I remember in CMT 1 in the very first chapter when we talked about the efficient market hypothesis. Basically, the efficient market hypothesis says that markets are always efficient. They're efficient, which means there's no inefficiencies to take advantage of as a trader. So you can't be profitable trading, basically. And then one way of disproving that was actually looking at S&P Capital, where traders who are trading basically the noise, the intraday fluctuations that is basically noise, are super profitable. Then and that would not be possible if the markets were highly efficient all the time. Now, of course, traders like the elite traders at S&P Capital, they are not your everyday normal traders, and they are maybe a minimal percentage of all the traders out there who can actually perform that at that level, right? But still, they I wouldn't imagine that you have the top performing scalper at S&P Capital sitting and thinking about, oh, what's the move index or the skew index doing here? What is the interest rates projections, and what's the FOMC? Why would they care about that? They get in and out of positions within a few minutes based on price action, But the way I'm trading,
are there is there any data on the profitability of S&P Capital traders? Did they release their performance data? Because that would be interesting to see how they perform versus.
I think they. I don't know that actually, but because of the fact that they are used in the CMT curriculum as an example of profitability, and we have many interviews with the founders, and if you read the book, you'll also understand. So I think they're trading their own capital, so. And they're making money, but it's not a publicly traded company. But I do think they have some sort of. But if you want publicly traded companies and verifiable data, you can just look at Goldman Sachs. You can look at their when they file whatever they have to file to be transparent. You look at their trading division, and they're just making money consistently. Year in, year out, they're just making money every single year. And that's just their trading division, right?
Yeah. Goldman Sachs hires the top talent from every field out there. So
yeah, I mean, Goldman Sachs basically says, "Hey, are you exceptionally good at anything? Come join us, and we'll see if we can make money on you."
Yeah, I mean, they hire doctors and engineers, and like not necessarily like economists or like financial, like people who majored in finance or whatever.
No,
And
I
so
mean,
do a lot of hedge funds, for that matter. Yeah.
We have a question from MeDexWeb3. What a great name. What about the turtle traders? Were they trading fundamentals? No, the turtle traders were trading a very simple system. So the story of the turtle traders is actually very interesting. I don't know if you guys know about that, but it's you know, you had two friends back in what was like the 70s or 80s, and they said basically, one of them said, I think anyone can be a trader, and the other one said, no way, it's not possible. So the guy set out an ad in the Wall Street Journal, I believe, said that they are offering anyone to come trade their capital and become a trader. And some of the people was just normal, everyday people, and they turned out to be some of the most successful traders in the history of trading, using a very simple trend following system called the turtle traders, something, but it's basically a trend following system. They used a the turtle trader. Where is he here? What's up, man? We have him here, right here. This is one of the most successful traders in the history of trading is in the chat right now. Welcome, man. Hope you're doing good. You must be old right now, because those guys were like in the 25, 30s back then. So you must be yeah. Anyway, I think they use a system with like a 52-week breakout system, I believe. By the way, look at comp right here. Almost got filled on this one. This is what a trade that I really love. And guys, do we have any ICT traders out there? Let us know. Anyone in you here is trading ICT? Because I have something interesting, right?
Well, I actually
ICT.
trade his power of 3, so you can ask me.
What's power of 3?
It's accumulation, manipulation, and distribution of candle. Open high, low close, open low, high close.
Okay, I actually have no idea. I'm not an ICT trader, and I haven't really done much of his stuff. But there's a few things I do know that ICT is using, and it would be like a fair value gap, right?
Yeah, FVG.
And I think, yeah, and I think a lot of people. I think that's one. Someone says I trade FVG plus liquidity. So this is a fair value gap, right? That candle right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's not only a fair value gap, is it?
No, I mean, that's just a gap with some inefficiency. That's what ICT calls.
Yeah, exactly. So what, and because I think it's important to understand what this actually is from a technical analysis point of view. So in technical analysis, you have something called the polarity between support and resistance, and it's so simple. We all know it, right? This is a level. That's just a level, right? It could be whatever. Could be a slope that you're skiing down, like this. And then like as like these, ski. What do you hold when you have like and then here's like skis, 2 skis here, and then it's like a slope and it goes down. It could be that, or it could be a level and then you have price below it, which means it's resistance, right? And then when price is above it, it's support. And it's super simple, right? That's just the whole idea of polarity between support and resistance. So if resistance breaks the upside, then it's going to be support. Now, what's cool about this, and what I believe a lot of people have found why they believe the fair value gaps from ICT is such a powerful concept is because it is a powerful concept within technical analysis. So we have PsyOps saying here gaps FVG works better in futures than in crypto. No, that's completely completely false, actually, because the futures market, what are you trading on the futures market? You're trading indices, right? So I might just go to a CFD index and we're going to have the same levels and everything, right? And because of the fact that technical analysis is universal, it works on all tradable markets out there. And if a market respects support and resistance level, horizontal ones, then it's going to work. So what a fair value gap really is and why it's powerful is because if you have a level right here, now imagine that this level right here is resistance, okay? And you have 100 sellers here, right? And on every test, each seller, on each test, 25 sellers will get absorbed, right? So you have had 100, and now you only have 75. And now we have 50 sellers left, and then you got 25 sellers left. And on the fourth retest, you have no sellers left, so you get a breakout. Now, if this is a clean candle where you have a test here, and then you have a strong, let me show you here. You have a candle just going through the level, right? And depending on what time frame you're looking at, you're going to look at this as a gap, right? Because there's just no reaction here. That's because the level broke. Everyone got absorbed. Now, the beautiful thing here is all of these 100 sellers is going to be, and this is simplifying everything, right? But all of those 100 sellers, you're not going to have 100 buyers, right? So on the first test, the level is strongest, right? The level is always strongest on the first test, getting weaker, a little bit weaker, but then once it flips, the number of tests means the number of sellers were big, which means on the first retest after a breakout, this number of tests determines the strength of the first retest. Now, remember that the first retest is always going to be the strongest retest. That's why when you have a level like this and you hit that level, that first retest is where you want to get in because it has the highest potential of grabbing as much, as the ICT traders want to call it, as much liquidity as possible to move lower. So for me, and this is why I'm fascinated about things like ICT, because ICT is very popular, right? But the concept is the same. So what this is a break. It's a break to the downside, and the retest of this level would be the first clean retest of an untested level. So I think if you put it into that context, it's easier to have a more broader understanding of price action and not having to be laser focused on just one specific concept, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, when me and Anastasiia were marking some areas in Bitcoin, so we somehow came at same place, talking about same key area that we can get some reaction from that. And one good part is that if I of higher time frame, but if you look at volume profile as well, you can see that price is actually taking rest as at previous point of control of previous weekly candle. So somehow every supply demand zone is actually coming all together from same, all strategies. So we are at same place. And if I talk about Boris also uses band, which gives him confirmation for trend. And I use same thing on lower time frame. If I turn it on, then you guys can see that I also use EMAs as well on lower time frame to get the trend confirmation. So yeah, I have learned ICT, EMAs, Orderflow, and came across one thing that if you try to learn all the strategies, only one thing will happen with you is just you will get stuck at some place. You have to understand that keeping one rule and things aside and follow what you actually understand on charts. So then I started with the basic price action and applying things. So when it comes to FVGs, I use FVGs as if an fair value gap has good number of low volume, not on lower time frame, then I try to look for trade. So I'm never using fair value gap just because it is a gap. If it has high volume, not if it has nothing, then I'm not really going to focus there. So yeah, that's how I use fair value gap. So you can't use just a gap to decide where you want to put your like limit or trade.
Yeah, similar to Ayush, I use the volume profile to, I guess, identify fair value gap. So this chart, I know it's very confusing. It's like a bunch of indicators and things going on here, but essentially you can see there's a high value node here around the $86,000, $87,000 area, and another high value node at the $68,000 area. And that's why I've been thinking, all this week we've been talking about Bitcoin price action. Like once we break above 79,000, there's no volume that was transacted here during this whole dump when Bitcoin went from what was like 90,000 all the way down to 60,000. So that's how I view fair value gaps using volume profile. So I'm thinking if somehow Bitcoin can get some gas in its engine right now and push through this area, then we'll skyrocket through 80K and go into this high value node at 87,000 to 88,000. But then again, I've been saying this for almost a week and it's just stalling. And the more it stalls, the more, the less conviction I have in Bitcoin actually pulling off this move. But I don't know. This is on Monday, so on Monday I'm kind of in a bad mood. Sorry, guys. I'm kind of in a bearish mood on Saturday.
But I think there's a lot of things that can happen this week. With we got it's a lot of uncertainty. We got FOMC, we got the MAG, we got 5 of the MAG 7 earnings this week. There's a big potential catalyst this week that can either make or break this level. But even if we do break out, breaking out straight into high time frame resistance. If I go to just give me a second. Okay, so let me look at. There's a few things again I'm concerned about, and that is of course there is simply no volume. Momentum is obviously fading. We had that bearish divergence on the first retest, and now we have equal highs right here. So just technically it looks like this is just not really a good setup for a breakout. I'm just going through some of the notes here from a research I did this morning, because I do remember that there was something about a short squeeze potential, because we had I believe it was the futures market had a very high concentration of shorts. Yeah, so I did find that on April the 22nd, I saw a post from Glassnode that we had funding rates as negative. So shorts were paying longs to hold their positions. And that's obviously, it's a little bit unusual in a rally like this one, and it signals quite clearly that the crowd, there's crowded bearish positioning, And when there's overly crowded bearish positioning, it opens up the door for a short squeeze. When there's a large amount of people shorting this, when there's a lot of enough, I just read a comment from Roman says, but your typing is loud enough. Okay, I need to remember that to mute my mic when I'm typing. Can you guys hear when I'm typing as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That sucks. I actually bought a new stand for a microphone so that was not connected to the desktop, so you can get rid of that, but apparently it's not working. So anyway, that opens up for a short squeeze, right? So, but that short squeeze could be, maybe that could be up to 85. Like I talked about how if we break above that 79k region, I see a move up to 84. Straight up to 84. I think we can get a huge move up to 84, which is obviously around 6%. And I think that could happen in like one day. I think we can get like a catalyst that pushes price higher. We get a massive short squeeze and we see a massive daily candle on Bitcoin. And then people pile in to go long. And we dump.
Yeah, I think the short squeeze will happen very fast. Like short squeezes and long squeezes in cryptos happen very, very fast. I think it could be accomplished in 1 hour even.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it happens very quickly, happens very, very quickly. So yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
But I'm looking at the Bitcoin exchange liquidation map, and actually, this data like shifts week to week. I'm looking at the 7-day time frame for the Bitcoin exchange liquidation map. So currently we're at 77,700. So actually, what this represents is that if price starts moving to like 76,000, we're going to see close to 4 billion in longs being liquidated. So it's like now the market is stacked towards the long side. But let's say we go up to 80k, right? I mean, there's going to be 3.3 billion in shorts liquidated. So you can kind of like see how it's skewed towards, if price goes to 70,000, there could be close to 7 billion in long liquidations, versus if price goes all the way to 87, which is like probably the highest target I could see Bitcoin going. If there's a short squeeze, there's going to be like half as many short liquidations. That's actually concerning to me because we're actually not that far from like getting to this liquidity zone around 76 to 76.5. Like if price were to drop $1,000 during the stream, we're going to see some longs being liquidated, and that's going to cause a cascade to the downside, to play devil's advocate here.
Yeah, it's a weird situation, right? Because there's a lot of FOMO. There's a lot of people, like we can all see. There's a lot of FOMO. A lot of people are very bullish here on Bitcoin, and I'm seeing analysts that I've seen as relatively bearish for a long time. They're flipping bullish, and I just feel like why are you flipping bullish at resistance? What's going on here? So. And then it's like, well, okay, are you bullish up to 85k or are you bullish up to 200,000? Like, there's a very big difference there, right? And I think there's a lot of FOMO here to the upside, and that of course also will cause a lot of pain to if prices move to the downside here. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here. We have a question saying, does Ethereum follow Bitcoin on the higher time frames? We can do a simple exercise to see if that is true or if that is the case. Let me see. So we can open Bitcoin here on one shot. And by the way, my my regime filter for the S&P 500 just turned into bullish regime again. and that's my signal to add to the stock market. So I've last Friday I started adding about 30% to the world stock index, the Vanguard ETF world stock index, and reduce some of my gold position. But that's not what we're going to be looking at here. Okay, let's look at. Okay, so we have Bitcoin here, and then we're just going to add Ethereum. So there's a fairly simple way of doing this. We have Bitcoin in orange and Ethereum in blue, and you can see here on the higher time frames that they are very correlated, right? Almost looks like the same chart. We can pull them to log as well. So we have they are very correlated, of course, but they are not perfectly correlated. There's definitely like a basis risk here with like you can see here, for example, that something drastic happened for Ethereum here, right? You have Ethereum in blue here, and you can see that obviously that move was quite massive, where you had a move on Ethereum from almost 4,000 down to 1,600, and Bitcoin went from 103 down to 78. But they are mostly correlated, and we can see now in an environment like this, they are almost perfectly correlated from the all-time highs in both Ethereum and Bitcoin. They have been almost perfectly correlated. So how do we trade this? I mean, this information is interesting to have, right? But how do we actually trade this? And there is a couple of ways you can trade this. Now, Bitcoin is going to be your main pair that you're watching, right? So how do we actually trade this? Well, we can look at it this way. We have Bitcoin at the top here, and then we're going to open up Ethereum at the bottom. You can see that they are incredibly correlated. It's basically the same range here. So we can add a few levels first on Bitcoin. And the key here to think about is if you're going to trade both of these and you're going to use one as a proxy for the other, the key thing to think about is risk to reward, not specifically percentage moves or distance, but the risk to reward. And of course, then also the structure. So let's add basically the same two levels here. And you can see that Bitcoin is almost testing the first level, which is the low of the previous bear market, the previous high time frame leg to the downside. So Bitcoin has pretty much already tested that level. Ethereum has not tested that level. Okay, it's quite a long time away. Now, what I'm thinking is if Bitcoin is going to reach 85K, which is up here, right? Then I believe that Ethereum will at least hit that level, right? At least hit that level, probably the level above as well. If Bitcoin continues higher, then absolutely Ethereum will most likely do that. Again, because why? They're correlated, right? They are very, very correlated. So now let's look at the risk to reward here. Where is a good invalidation level for Bitcoin? On the daily, I would say it's going to be that one. I think that's a pretty good invalidation level for Bitcoin. Okay, so let's say, just for the sake of the example here, we're gonna enter at market here for Bitcoin up to that level. Risk to reward 1.8. Good, but not great. So where's the invalidation level for Ethereum? So we go back to that low, that's going to be this level right here, or that one. Now, if you market enter here, we can put stop loss below that one, and to the same level, have a risk to reward of 3. So almost double, right? Or at least 1 R extra risk on Ethereum. So that's how I view, how I look at the relationship between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin is a lot of times leading the Ethereum move. So if you're gonna take if you're watching this right now and you're thinking, I want to long Bitcoin, then you might consider going long on Ethereum as well, and splitting the risk that you plan to have on Bitcoin into both of these positions, which means if both of these positions win, you're going to make more money. If one of them wins, you're at least going to have an opportunity to make more money.
Do you look at the ETH Ethereum Bitcoin ratio?
That was a long time ago. Yeah, not a lot. That was a very long time ago. Let's take a look at that one. I remember in 2017 we only traded against Bitcoin.
Yeah, actually on some exchanges you can actually trade that pair on leverage. So you
nice.
can actually trade ETH, BTC. Like I think Binance used to have it. I'm not sure if they still have it, but that's a kind of like an interesting pairs trade to have in crypto.
Yeah, here you see some trade ideas from January 2021. I haven't looked at this chart on this layout since probably 2021. So this is interesting then. How would we... Okay, so Ethereum, Bitcoin, that means that if Ethereum is underperforming Bitcoin, this chart goes down. Okay.
Yeah, so I think Ethereum has been in the downtrend against Bitcoin. I mean, that's just how it is since August. I mean, we had that big pump from April into the summer months, and then since then, we've just been in a perpetual downtrend on ETH, BTC. So, really hard for me to be bullish on Ethereum, especially with Bitcoin so weak. I just don't see a move, like a big move to the upside happening with ETH.
Yeah, but there's a difference between the price of Ethereum can still go up and this chart goes down, you know? So it's I think we're looking at two different things here. What I was explaining was if Bitcoin moves up, then most likely Ethereum will also move up. But the question is how much does Bitcoin move up compared to how much Ethereum moves up? And obviously, as we can see, as we can see right here, there's also going to be periods where Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin, and it goes in a cycle of underperformance, outperformance, underperformance, and then outperformance, right? So within this range here, Ethereum has actually outperformed Bitcoin, while we have range here since the beginning of February. Now it does look actually like now that Bitcoin actually broke out, it looked like Ethereum, followed down. But interesting pattern here where you can see, okay, Ethereum actually outperformed Bitcoin. So owning Ethereum when Bitcoin is ranging within a bear market, might actually be alpha. But yeah, I wouldn't bet on it, and it's a complicated relationship for sure.
Yeah, I was thinking, why not take a look at Sol BTC? That chart looks even worse. So like Solana against Bitcoin.
Wow.
You can see a clear downtrend in Solana versus Bitcoin. So I mean, obviously you can compare any altcoin against Bitcoin, not just ETH Bitcoin.
I wonder if we can do this.
Yeah.
Can we combine others with Bitcoin? Like make a synthetic chart here. If we make others and then BTC. What if that happens if we do that? I need to figure out how. Okay, so let me ask my assistant here. How? Okay, how do I make a synthetic? I can just type. I can just ask it right away in the microphone. How do I make a synthetic chart within TradingView if I want to compare the performance of a basket of altcoins versus Bitcoin, like the others ticker versus BTC? So I just want to know how you can, because now I have compared others with Bitcoin, and I think what I'm doing is simply just adding them, or I'm not really sure if that's what I'm doing. Okay, so okay, I think this is the way you do it. Is that really a thing? Oh wow, it works. That's weird.
Wow.
Okay, so what this does, you see the /4 here. Now the /4 here normalizes everything to an average. So it takes the basket and then it normalizes the performance of this whole basket. And as you can see, this is Ethereum, Sol, AVAX, and Link. And then it takes the performance of all of these altcoins and it normalizes them by putting them all in an average price. And then it takes that versus the price of Bitcoin. So the chart that we're seeing right here is all of these altcoins combined, normalized to an average, and then compared to Bitcoin. So this chart right here tells us that most of the time it's better to just be holding Bitcoin. I'm gonna try another one here. Yeah, it's the same. What if we do this then? Others / Bitcoin. No? Okay, we do others / Bitcoin. Yeah, okay. This should be others versus Bitcoin.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and it makes sense as well because this is 2017, which means Bitcoin has outperformed the altcoin market since the beginning of 2022.
So it's amazing. And people keep asking when is alt season coming.
Guys, like I entered Bitcoin. I believe I entered the market here. I believe that was somewhere like at the end of 2016. So right here. And like this time from 2016 to like 2018, that was just, that was just me thinking I'm the best trader in the world, I think there's music or something. Where is that? Is that Ayush?
No, it's
What are you doing,
my
man?
mic.
I thought you were playing some type of instrument or something, but you're just...
No, it's the spring off my mic.
Ah, okay. Anyway, so here you see altcoins completely outperforming Bitcoin, and that has never happened again. It has never happened again that way, and it's probably never going to happen again. So, like, if you're watching this and you're thinking, all right, the money to be made in crypto is to, to buy strong altcoin projects and just hold them, but no, altcoins are for trading. Bitcoin is for holding. There are very, very few altcoin projects out there that is not going to die. And I say this because when I started trading crypto, we had like, I think in 2016 we had like maybe 1,000 altcoins on CoinMarketCap, and then a couple of years later we went up to 4,000, and now I think we have a couple of millions, right?
I mean, with all these meme coins people can create, I think, I don't know if there's a million, but definitely probably close to 100,000. Probably a question to ask.
No. Listen to this, Boris. Coin. This is gonna blow your mind. You know how many cryptos they have on CoinMarketCap?
No.
49.5, almost 50 million.
No way. I don't believe. Really?
No, 50 million. Go there and you see at the lower left, it's 49.58 million.
Wow.
So when I say that most altcoins are just bullshit,
oh wow,
do you understand how sad, like how insane this? Yeah. We also have news coming out right now that Microsoft is saying that they will no longer pay a revenue share to OpenAI.
Yeah, that sucks for Sam Altman.
Yeah.
Hey everyone.
Hey Anastasiia, how's it going?
Hey, how are you?
Good. You? How is the trading week starting for everyone?
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
You say great, but based on your voice, it doesn't sound like it's been great. So
no, it's great. No, it's great. It's just I'm just reading news here. We got some news coming out from the UK, and the British pound is just dumping, and then Microsoft. So I'm trying to figure out, like, the earnings call for Microsoft is not now, right? Like, when does that come out? I gotta check this out. No, my Monday's been fantastic. I almost lost the account, but who cares? Who cares? It's Monday. Fuck it. Let's buy a new one. That's just. How are you? How are you this Monday?
Me? Better than last week. Was completely sick.
That's right. You were sick on Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, I was completely sick the whole end of the week, actually.
Completely sick. Completely sick
zero
isn't
power.
good.
Yeah, normally never happens to me.
Yeah.
Hey, happens to the strongest of us. No, all good.
Well,
all
I don't
good.
feel
just
completely
actually
sick. I feel
a
partly
little
sick.
bit sick.
Yeah,
Partly?
sick. Yeah.
Slightly.
Actually, guys, I gotta jump off. I got a meeting coming up, so I will jump off, and then I'll see if I can perhaps come in at the end of the live stream, do a little giveaway. So everyone in the comment section, I'm gonna do a giveaway based on the number of likes. So the more likes we have today, the more accounts we're gonna be giving away today. So make sure that you do hit that like. And also, we're at records of concurrent viewers, so thank you everyone. And also, we're almost at 1,000 subscribers soon, so we're gonna do a massive giveaway when we reach that milestone as well. I'll see you guys later, okay?
See you soon.
All right. See you, Jonathan.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
I am short on gold, on pucks, at the moment. So I just entered it the moment I actually joined the stream. Yeah, right now. It's actually the same ID that I had last week already. So it's nothing like crazy, nothing different than I had. So I'm short at the moment, and it's a little bit in profit. So I went short again when we broke out of this consolidation. The price went down. We broke the previous volume zone. Because if I look at the volume distribution, essentially over this whole period of time, we had two volume zones, this one and this one. So they make my platform update for Orderflow, and it looks completely weird. It looks like a toy platform for some reason since Friday. I'm trying to cope with it, but I absolutely can't look at this. Nonetheless, based on the Orderflow, we basically broke the previous two zones of volume, this one and this one right here. So I'm looking at this volume zone and the other one. So these two accumulations coming from this range and from this range. During this range, what I was looking at is that the price during this range here was like here we had it's essentially the same movement between the cumulative delta, so the order flow, and the price. So we had the price dropping, we had the cumulative delta dropping, showing that there is a majority of the sell market orders currently dominating the market. And the price held inside of the range, which we also saw in the cumulative delta. So there's more or less a balance between the aggressive buyers and sellers. And at the moment, what is very interesting is that the price is dropping. The cumulative delta isn't really dropping a lot yet. So I'm in a short. I don't necessarily like the divergence, and I want to see if the cumulative delta starts dropping as well. There are some more orders coming in. So we did have the market opening for gold 9 minutes ago, and in 20 minutes from now, we have the US market opening, so perhaps it's going to bring some volatility. I do want the price preferably to stay below this volume, but my stop loss is above the previous consolidation, small consolidation here. So that's what I'm trying to see. We're going to continue going lower from here. And if I switch to my other screen, which I'm going to do just to show my other, 1 second, my other. Let me try to check. No, my microphone should be good. Like this? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, now it's good.
For some reason, I had two microphones, and I think the program automatically picked another one. So you guys should be hearing me well right now. So this is my order from the last week as well. So I had short here, which got perfectly closed. I had another short here, which the price still didn't reach the target. I closed it. Nonetheless, the ID basically is exactly the same. So I have the short now from $5 higher than we currently are. So that's approximately here, and based on PAX price. And I'm waiting for the price to hit perhaps the previous low here, or even as low as 4,600 for PAX, with my stop loss being here. So that is the ID currently. No, my stop loss is even here. So that is currently the ID that I have. Are you guys trading PAX today?
No, not like you. You are squeezing the sell line.
I'm still holding the PAX swing long
oh my
from
God.
last week. All this time.
Yeah,
it still hasn't. I figure I'll just keep holding it because it almost hit my stop twice. Actually 3 times, so I'm just gonna keep holding it because I've already held on for it for almost a week, so it makes no sense to just let go of this position right now. So, and again, we have different styles. Like you're trading the shorter term time frame, but I'm trading the daily. And based on a daily, I should have been out on this candle, but like this wick, like it barely stopped me out. So this line, basically 4,628 was my stop loss, and we barely came down to it. Like, and we tried to test this level like 1, 2, 3, almost 4 times now, and I still haven't been stopped out. So this has turned into more of like a discretionary trade. I'll just keep holding it because for whatever reason, price just doesn't want to go below these wicks. So still gonna hold it. I'm really not that. I don't have that much confidence that this will play out and this will magically go to the upside, but you never know what happens in trading. Like I'd probably be short on PAX like you if I were to, if I were to have a fresh lens on the market right now and on PAXG.
Ayush, and what are you thinking? What's your opinion on that?
On gold?
Yeah.
Yeah, on gold, we are currently tapping the monthly open many times, and me and Boris were actually discussing about your shorts when you were not on live. So I was thinking that the trade you took from here, actually you were able to close it here or not, because we had this spike taking support from this monthly open. It actually ruined the short position which you were in. So yeah, I think currently the only crypto pair which, you can say commodity, which is really doing well on intraday. I'm not really looking at anything on Bitcoin and Ethereum, because we are still in that range and trying to figure out where to go. So mostly looking at gold. And my view is actually, if we break below this, support zone, then I'll look for shorts till this 46.31. But yeah, I like the way you are still squeezing the same rally down from last Monday, and you're just selling it from each and every pullback.
Yeah, I'm trying because the reason is that I noticed if I have my analysis, it usually works out. Sometimes it's just, even if it takes a long time and the price stacks in consolidation, the problem is if I'm going to leave it completely and I'm going to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to wait until gold is out of the range to trade it again. Most of the times it's still going to go to my target and I'm going to miss out on the whole movement, whole move. So it's usually better for me and much more profitable to actually stick to the same ID. So that's what I found out. So that's what I'm trying to do as well.
So you actually use same analysis for your futures trade as well in gold, or you trade PAXG only on crypto?
No, I trade futures as well on gold.
Okay, so
I trade PAXG, digitalized gold, and I trade the futures on gold as well.
But there you might be scalping for intraday opportunities.
No, it's exactly the same trade that I take.
Yeah, but in crypto you can hold for entire week and as long as you want.
But futures you also can on your personal account. You can.
Oh, okay.
You have different margin requirements, of course, but you can. With prop firms, usually you can't. And the reason is also the margin requirements. So that sometimes usually the margin requirements are just so high that props just are not allowing to hold it over the weekend, overnight, and so on. But if you have enough backup on your personal account, you can hold it as long as you want as well for any future, basically. Just any futures, every futures contract has the specifications that needs to be followed. Yeah, we have a very interesting Wednesday coming up, because I was looking for some analysis on BTC and on S&P and Nasdaq, because we talked about the correlation of those. We have a very interesting Wednesday, which I think is going to be a very big decision point, decision day, because we do have the reports of some companies. That's more obviously for stock market, but the correlation between the high risk assets and the stock market can be, cannot be basically denied. And also we have the Federal Reserve meeting and the interest rate decision, which is going to be an interesting one because it's the last one when Powell is the president of the Federal Reserve. Because on 11th or 15th of May, I keep forgetting, his term as the chairman of the Federal Reserve comes to an end. So that's going to be the last time when he's making a decision also with the Federal Reserve to get in the rates. And we looked in the probabilities, right? We have like a 40% probability now for the rate cut and 2 meetings away from the current one, versus 60, which we had a couple of weeks before, before the whole Iran thing started. So it's going to be a very interesting, volatile Wednesday probably. But Bitcoin
also
in
tomorrow.
General, yeah, go for it.
Tomorrow. Sorry to interrupt you. We have consumer confidence, 10 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, Wednesday is the big day. And then, actually Thursday we also have PCE inflation, which is actually the Fed's favorite metric.
Yeah.
And we have GDP, and PCE plus GDP plus FOMC. That's like a big combination. So maybe don't do anything as a swing, for me as a swing trader until Wednesday. That's going to be a huge day. I feel like.
Yeah, it's a big week. It's a big week ahead of us, basically. But Bitcoin is something very similar with gold for me, because I had the same analysis for 2 weeks at the current point, and it's following exactly the same analysis. So we had the same level. We talked about it last week, 78.8, 79K, which the price reached finally once again, so 2 times, and it's dropping from now on. So technically, I'm thinking about taking a short position here and holding it all the way down, because my assumption is that we're not gonna go much higher than whatever 80.2 thousand, so 80,200, 80,300 maybe. We are trying to break this zone of volume as well. So this is a current week, this is a last week. So my current scenarios adjusted to the current situation is that either we're gonna drop from now, or maximum we might have another rally, 80.5, 80.3, and then continuation once again to the downside. So I'm thinking about taking a short position, not probably with a lot of leverage, concerning that I'm thinking about the possibility that it might run up one more time. So we are not entirely yet in a bearish market, because we did not have a break of structure, we didn't have the renewal of the previous bottom and so on. But in general, I'm looking for shorts on BTC. And my targets would be as follows. So that would be here first, 76.250 approximately. Okay, so on 76.250. First target, and 1 second. That's 1. And next target for me would be approximately around 74,500. Let's round this up. And the next target would be for me all the way at 71.7. And then honestly, even 69.2, again, 68K. And those are my 2 main scenarios so far. But it's been the same since last week. I'm just looking at adjustments towards, how the price action is forming, obviously. But this is something that we discussed with you on the 14th of April. So that's 2 weeks ago on the live stream. And then this was another analysis on the 22nd. Now this is this analysis. So it's more or less than like gold. I have the analysis. It's going there, but it's going like a snail. What are you thinking about Bitcoin for this week?
I mean, same view as yours, but the only thing is stopping me to go shorts in Bitcoin is this support area we have on daily time frame, and we got nice rejection at previous value area high of previous week volume profile. So I think we can still rally up higher till at least 80,000 and then continue the downward movement. And also, if you talk about Ethereum, is also in the support area of daily time frame. So I as an intraday trader, don't really have a proper direction for a trend. So just gonna wait for breakout maybe. So the only thing is really tough for this range is the Ethereum. Ethereum is really slow and in a very, very bad range. I would not do anything with Ethereum. Like if I have to go long, I'll trade BTC and any other altcoin, but not Ethereum, because it's been really bad from last week. You can see the daily time frame, it looks really weird.
Yeah, for me on Bitcoin, I was bullish last week, but just seeing this rejection that we saw actually today, earlier today, like a few hours ago. I think this happened during the afternoon. Well, depending on what time zone you're in, but yeah, when the futures session opened up, we had a pretty large dump in Bitcoin. Like it went down over $1,000 or 1.5% in 1 hour. So on the lower time frames, like this is starting to look like a double top pattern. So I really don't like that we try to break above 79K once. We try to break it, tried to break above it again today, and there was a very large sell-off. So seems like there are some players here that are really don't want Bitcoin to get above 79K. So on the lower time frames, this is not a good look. However, on the daily, I'm like, I kind of agree with Ayush. Like we're still maintaining the uptrend somewhat, although the more Bitcoin stalls here, the more it fails to get above 79,000, the less conviction I have in my swing long. Yeah, because really price hasn't really moved ever since we've been talking on Wednesday. Like it's pretty much been stuck at roughly 77.5, 78. Yep, like 77 to 78, and it's just concerning that it's stalling here and not making much progress. So like still no reason to let go of my long position on the daily time frame, but looking at the hourly, this is starting to get concerning for me, because we're just failing to break above this level. So until we get a break above here, yeah, I'll be bearish if I were trading the short-term time frames. Daily still has hope, but if I don't see a move in the next couple of days, I'm probably gonna de-risk. And I already started de-risking by positioning short on XRP and also data. So my trading portfolio has like a good balance of longs and shorts right now. So I'm hedged pretty well if the market either decides to go up or down from here. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know about longs. I have pretty much zero confidence in longs myself, to be honest. Because at least even like looking at the price action. Sorry?
Oh no, I said that's fair. That you have no hope in longs.
Yeah, the reason also, another reason is basically how easy we covered the whole effort of buyers with just one bearish candle. So whenever we completely disconnect from the overall picture, which for me is a channel, we are on top of it. But again, I'm pretty much expecting also the probability that they can still reach 80.5 is a squeeze, maybe 81 even. But even looking at the past price action, I really don't like for longs how within just 1 hour we covered like all this effort of buyers. So for me, what I also look at usually is like how easy it is for buyers and sellers to take over. And at this very moment, it's like for sellers, it was very easy. They stepped in, it's 1 hour, they completely, covered the full growth that we've had for hours upon hours of buyers, so more than a day. So this, if I would take a position now, I wouldn't take a buy. If I'm talking about the swing, I do see the possibility that we might go to 80.5. 81, but to be fairly honest, it's only because of the Bitcoin behavior. We might get a squeeze. I wouldn't think that we are bullish in general based on the narrative or anything. So I think it's more like a squeeze than anything else, because we are below this weekly point of control here, so 77.7 also, which is today's day. So basically last week, this week currently for me is completely bearish narrative. Swing trading perspective, yeah, we might get a squeeze just because it's crypto, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, because I saw the theory that the US 100, the Nasdaq 100, and the S&P, they're still at all-time highs, and the capital still should flow somewhere. And I think it should flow into Bitcoin. But I've been saying that for this like the fourth day now, and it hasn't happened. And the longer something doesn't happen, and the longer price stalls at the 79K level, the more I'm starting to lose hope in any kind of short squeeze to this 80,000 or 84K region. But it's still early. I mean, the New York session is just opening up in 2 minutes. Let's see. Yeah, let's see what happens. Like, we're still very, very early into the week. And normally not normally, but sometimes what happens during the Sunday night futures session, or when futures open up, is we sort of get a reversal during when the New York session opens up. So we'll see what happens to price action during the day. I think it could go either way, but I think also, because as you mentioned, we have all the big economic data and earnings events later in the week, that there won't be a big move probably until Wednesday. That's my deadline for a volatile move within BTC.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Ayush, what are you trading?
I'm trading nothing for now. Just waiting for a proper, I think after 9:30 we can get some push higher or lower, to get some intraday opportunity. Even I think this move which I saw happening in morning is really unfair, because it mainly happens when I'm not on charts. It should have happened right now, and could have got the really nice sell, because we had good supply zone in Ethereum and good supply zone in BTC as well, and properly aligned with the value area high of previous week. So it was a good trade, which I saw on my phone from bed crying, because I actually had to turn my setup on to get a trade. But yeah, I saw it in front of my eyes going lower and lower. Could have made good amount of money in single trade for the entire week. But yeah, I think I mainly after good expansion or maybe volatile session, I have seen that we usually range for at least a few hours and then give us some proper direction. And also in 4 hour, we see that we have really good volume traded in the same area. That's why it's getting difficult for both pairs to go lower, because we are in a very high volume node area. Once we break below this area, I think we can go shorts. But for shorts, I still am a little bit not sure, because we have just one leg of bear candle. If we give some sort of retrace and continue the rally again, then I think we can go shorts easily. But we do have a very strong support area at 76,000 of maybe weekly time frame. Yeah, so we have this support area. So I'm not saying that we can go longs from here, but I'm just being careful. If I'm selling from this area, I'd be careful, or I'll book my profits near 74,000 on Ethereum as well.
And Ayush, what are your thoughts on how's Doge doing? I guess it's still the same as last week.
Yeah, like it is also in a very like bad range, and it's actually bullish, not bearish for me, because we have daily time frame support, and I still feel that we can still go higher in Doge. So whenever I have mix bias for Doge and Ethereum and Bitcoin, I usually do nothing, because mainly I have seen that all these altcoins and BTC and Ethereum goes in same direction. So yeah, I'm still kind of really in doubt that are we actually going lower or not, because Doge also has really similar structure like BTC and Ethereum. So what I would like to say is just breaking above this supply zone, we can easily take out this highs in Doge. Maybe after NY session and during PM, we can get some good volume. And we had really worst price action possible last week during weekends. It was really tough for even 1:1 trades on lower time frame.
Yeah, I didn't do any trading on the weekend. What about you guys?
I mean, I
To be
actually
honest, I
trade during
never
weekends, but
had
not this.
trade during the weekend. Yeah, go for it. Ayush, sorry.
No, I'm done.
I was saying that I never trade during the weekend because first of all, I think it's a habit, because I come from the futures, like normal, just the real world assets. I come from them, and I am used to not trade during the weekend and prepare for the next week. Now, secondly, usually in the past, now obviously taking into account Trump and the whole announcement that he does over the weekend and the amount of gaps we had over the past months, that's something completely else, right? That's a completely different story. But normally, when we take a range of the past couple of years, over the weekend, even crypto didn't really move much because it was highly correlated with my account disconnected for some reason. It was highly correlated with the indices and with the real world assets, which means basically that it wasn't moving crypto neither, because we were waiting for some macro data for investors to pick up the sites and so on. And thirdly, I do need a break sometimes. So I barely trade on Friday. I never trade Friday afternoon. And unless it's something outstanding happening, and of course there are some exceptions to the rules always, but unless something outstanding is happening, I never trade a second half of Friday neither. Maximum is that I open the position and I hold it through Friday, but I always open the trade in the first half of the day while the volatility is still present, because the further we go into Friday, the deeper we go into the trading day, the less volatility there is. And the less probability is that my trade is going to work out. So the higher chances I'm going to get stuck in the position until the weekend, and maybe I need to close it in a loss, or I need maybe to pay the extra fees, or so on. So I prefer to not. And then during the weekend, I disconnect. I'm trying to make a habit of actually disconnecting from the charts over the weekend as much as I can to refocus during the week, because there was some time when I was like almost 24/7 in this, and it just gets too much on the mental side, What about you guys?
Yeah, it's always good to have digital detox, I feel, during weekends.
Yeah. What about you though?
I keep positions open, but I try not to open any positions during Saturday and Sunday. But I do kind of like to take a look at what's happening just to manage my open trades, because I do hold positions into the weekend. But I try not to, making any new trades Saturday or Sunday. So I kind of just check in once or twice a day on TradingView or on my platform Saturday and Sunday. But then again, if I see an opportunity, like if I see something moving and it aligns with my system and I don't have much to do, maybe I'll take a trade. Why not? So it really depends on how much free time I have, and and so. But recently, I haven't not been opening any trades on the weekends. I just think it's too risky in the market, is way too illiquid right now.
Yeah. To be honest with you, it's you never know over the weekend, what he's gonna be speaking about as well. And as before, it was once in a while. Now it's almost every single weekend because I feel like they also try to minimize the impact on the stock market in US and solve some other things over the weekend as much as possible. So when the market reopens, it doesn't affect it that much. All the craziness that they're going through with the war and oil and so on. But it also does obviously bring us in a position when over the weekend anything can happen, might also not, and they need to always be on standby to trade crypto, I feel like. And you need to especially if you keep the positions open.
That's why I think people turn to the crypto markets, especially traders during the weekends, because that's the only market you can really trade, and that kind of serves as a guide to what the equity markets might do. If some breaking news headline comes out Saturday or Sunday, let's say Bitcoin, goes down 10%, then most likely we're going to see a similar reaction in equity markets. So I think crypto is used as a marker or as a guide for many traders during the weekends, or even as a hedge, because if something crazy happens, a trader or a hedge fund can hedge their portfolio by going short or long on Bitcoin or on crypto during the weekends. So I think that there is a use case for trading on the weekends during special situations.
But let us know in the chat, guys, if you trade during the weekend or not. Let us know in the chat if any of you in the comments do trade over the weekend.
Yeah, but looking at the order flow, it's pretty negative. So I think this is very good for your short position, Anastasiia. We're getting mostly red here, so a bunch of sell orders over the past 30 minutes, and not too much bullish buying going on. Looking at AgriTrade.
Yes and no, because I'm not really holding the bearish position in Bitcoin, so I can't really be happy about that. And for me, it's actually breaking above. It might be a bearish order flow, but it's breaking above the volume, so I wouldn't take a sell either now. But on the flip side, I'm holding the PAX short, and it is going quite good. I can say that. So this one is not letting me down. Yeah.
Are you looking at anything else besides PAX and Bitcoin?
No, not really. Not really. From crypto, no, I was looking at some Nasdaq, and S&P and so on, but nothing else. Just looking at some altcoins, some meme coins basically, but nothing special, to be honest. Ethereum is going to be exactly the same as for a BTC. So, nothing for me personally here, because we had the same exact analysis also for a couple of weeks ago. So I feel exactly the same way about Ethereum as about Bitcoin. So Ethereum is consolidating. We have a channel. If you zoom in slightly, I was looking for this short, which I closed break even when we were live, and then a couple of weeks ago already. And then now we're just consolidating above the monthly point of control, currently above the April's point of control, and between the old April point of control and this highs here. So for me, there is nothing currently interesting on Ethereum until we break this consolidation. Only if we break through the zone, perhaps here, this area, then I might consider entering Ethereum as well. So as a continuation of this, this pullback and then the continuation further down. But at the moment, because we are above these volumes, there is nothing for me in this. It's even worse for me personally than Bitcoin, because at least Bitcoin is doing something and Ethereum does nothing. It just looks like it's completely that.
Yeah, me, Ayush, and Jonathan, we were talking about the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio earlier and how it's pretty much going down now. Let me actually bring it up one more time on the daily. Yeah, yeah, let's go on the daily time frame here. And we can see Ethereum versus Bitcoin on a daily. It's been kind of chopping around here, but it's on the verge of breaking the zone. And this is like more clear if we go out to the weekly time frame. Let me get rid of some of these lines here. Yeah, it's pretty clear. Like we've been in a downtrend since about August. So Ethereum versus Bitcoin is slowly bleeding. Yeah, for almost half a year now, or actually more than half a year. And if you actually zoom out even further, like this has been a downtrend for over 4 years now. Like we had a kind of like a false pump or false rally here in Ethereum against Bitcoin, like last year during this time. But now it's kind of like, repeating the same pattern. And if this whole thing didn't happen, then yeah, Ethereum against Bitcoin is just bleeding. And I think I saw some post from a trader that said, yeah, the price of Ethereum 4 years ago is 2,000, and right now it's still 2,000, while Bitcoin is considerably higher than it was 4 years ago.
What's your opinion in general, long term, about Ethereum? Because I am an Ethereum fan, to be honest with you, considering that this network is used a lot in general, the technology and so on, and there is someone who can keep developing this, and with the potential of the price also to go the percentage wise is much higher than Bitcoin. But what's your opinion?
I think Ethereum will do whatever Bitcoin does. I don't think it will ever take over Bitcoin in terms of market capitalization. And just looking at the charts, like you don't even need any moving averages or any lines. You can just see it's dropping pretty severely against Bitcoin. And this is like a 4-year, even 5-year downtrend. So
Yeah.
If I had to pick to hold either Bitcoin or Ethereum, I would definitely go with Bitcoin. Just looking at the chart, but I always tell people, or my friends and family, like if they're gonna invest something, I would probably put 70% Bitcoin, or maybe like 60% Bitcoin, 20% Ethereum, and then 20% something else, like maybe some more speculative plays. But yeah, I'm not an Ethereum maximalist. I'm more of a Bitcoin maximalist. I think Bitcoin will always be number one. Maybe I'll be wrong.
Ayush, what's your opinion?
I mean, as an intraday trader, I would like to say nothing, because the only thing I care about is what's price doing at supply demand zone. That's all. So I'm not
At the
actually,
moment.
yeah.
So, yeah. Are you planning any?
One interesting thing is the fear and greed index. We're at a 48 now, and I think when we first started doing these streams, we were in extreme fear. So it looks like the market is, the sentiment is not that fearful anymore. So we're kind of like in neutral territory. So this is I don't know, not a bullish sign, just a neutral sign. I don't think people are that scared anymore. So maybe that's a reason we'll see Bitcoin break that 78K, 79K level and help us push through 80,000 and into that $86,000 supply region. But yeah, just a neutral read that just means that sentiment is completely neutral. But it is interesting that we went from extreme fear, we were at extreme fear. Let me see this. Yeah, we were at fear March 4th at a 15 reading. and then now we're at a 34 or 48. Sorry, 48. So I'm curious what'll happen. Like, are we gonna go into greed if Bitcoin? I feel like what's gonna happen is if Bitcoin breaks above 80K and goes to 85K, we'll see the sentiment index turn greedy, and then that's when we'll see the reversal, and we'll go back to 60K and possibly even below.
Yeah. Okay, I agree. Yeah, might need this to happen. I like how Akram in the chat, when we were talking about the holding positions during the weekend or not, he was saying that nervous system has to rest. But the message was like, yeah, Akram, I'm not sure yours rested over the weekend looking at this message, to be honest. But you accepted it yourself. And Maddox is saying, I do trade during the weekend just because I'm used to having positions. And I think this is just so important to recognize. Why am I actually entering this trade? Am I entering this trade just because I want to be in the trade? I want to feel these emotions of being in a trade. I'm used to being in a trade. Or am I entering this position just because it's actually high quality trade? And I do believe that it might bring me profit, really based on my system. Does it fit the system or does it not fit the system? So for me personally, that's also why I don't trade over the weekend, because I don't really have stats. I've never did. Because, since I started trading crypto, then I went into the digital world asset and I got used to not trade during the weekend. So I don't have stats. And when I don't have statistics, I don't feel really confident in entering this trade when I don't have 100% basically black on white confirmation that it does make sense. So if I don't have this confirmation, then why would I spend my time over the weekend actually looking at the market? You know what I mean? So yeah. That's my opinion.
Also, keep in mind right now, liquidity is very thin on weekends, especially in this market environment. So yeah, that's another thing to be aware of. It's liquidity is wide, and yeah, I wouldn't, if you're a scalper or a short-term trader, then it wouldn't really make sense to be trading on the weekends. But for me, like I said, I'm a swing trader, so I actually had 10 open positions that I had into the weekend, and they're still open. So I'm comfortable with that kind of risk and holding positions well into the weekend.
I'm holding my packs and I'm happy about that. Can't complain. Are you guys in the comments? Are you guys holding any trades? Are you in any positions at the moment? Lucky is saying in the chat that indices are correcting, so the Bitcoin also will. Possible. Bitcoin is now dropping below my volumes that I've found significant, so it might be possible that it also will correct itself.
Yeah. Actually, looking at the US NASDAQ futures, we are dropping on the 15-minute.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign. And we're now into the New York session, so we could be actually looking at the QQQ, which is the NASDAQ ETF. So it's probably going to show a very similar picture. Let me go to, let's look at the SPY. What's the SPY doing? Yeah, SPY has a bearish open kind of fit. Yeah, 15-minute opens down. I mean, not that much, negative 0.13%. But we'll see what happens during the rest of the day. I think if equity markets see a downturn today, crypto is going to take a hit because QQQ or the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 were making, what is this?
It's giveaway time. Let's go.
Okay.
So I'm not prepared at all. I haven't even got the giveaway, but that's why I'm here. I want to do the giveaway. Well, are we making any money? I was gone about an hour, and I now assume that you all have passed your accounts and making a shit ton of money.
I'm not.
Yes.
I'm just watching Bitcoin
Obviously.
slowly bleed.
Okay. Let's do a giveaway here. Nightbot again. Oh, Ayush doesn't like Ayush. What about that Memdex guy?
So what are the
okay.
giveaway conditions today?
Well, today we're gonna give away a two-step 10K account, as always. But the question is how? How we're gonna give it away? I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna activate the slow mode, and then I'm gonna let everyone. I want to make sure that people actually watching right now get the giveaway. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have you guys write something. I'm gonna activate the slow mode, and once I do that, I will ask you to write something in the chat. Just give me a second. Just came off a meeting with the team, and man, we have a lot of exciting stuff in the pipeline for you guys. It's gonna be really, really cool. Make sure that you do hit that like and subscribe to the channels. You're updated on everything that we're doing here, and also join the Discord. I think we have a Discord link in the description. If not, you can find it in on the website. Okay, so everyone that types in BTC to the moon will be part of this giveaway. So just type in BTC to the moon, and I will put a timer on for 2 minutes. So this is going to be just a giveaway for the people actually watching right now. I want to make sure that we reward the people who are actually watching right now. So BTC to the moon, you type that into the chat and you will be eligible to win an account. And I'm going to be drawing that in about 2 minutes. Wild Deuce, like, it gets deleted directly. The bot really hates him. Oh, he got deleted as well. Time that. Well, I guess don't do it all caps then. Like, wild. Wait, Trader Boris, is that you? Is that you? Yeah, it's you. You're typing on your phone right now.
No, it's another Boris.
That's because you blew your account today, so you need to get into the giveaway.
Yeah, I need more money. I need more funding.
Yeah. There's a lot of people getting that's okay though. If you get timed out, no worries. I can see your message anyway, so we'll make sure to get that giveaway out. Okay. All right, soon. I guess one thing that's not very fair here is that some people, not everyone is maybe watching live. Maybe some people are like a couple of minutes behind. I'm gonna add Nightbot to this giveaway as well, and if Nightbot wins, we double it. Okay. Where did I have that? I had a really good giveaway wheel. Oh man, where did I have that one? There we go. go. Wheel of names. That's the one. Okay, time's up. Let's go. I will now see if we can add all the words to this. And here we go. You guys are awfully quiet today. Yeah.
I said the same when I joined live.
Yeah, what's going on, Boris?
Oh, the market's not moving. Like, we're still at 78K.
Yeah, you said you don't
I
like
feel
Mondays.
But no, I just don't like when price is not doing anything. It's not going in my direction.
Let's see what's actually happening. Well, oh, okay, that was this morning. Yeah, okay. Price hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, okay. We're probably waiting for FOMC. We're probably going to be ranging here for a while. Okay.
I mean, just look at the crypto bubbles. Like, we're in the red not across the board, but for most shitcoins. I don't know. There's this one UMXM. I have no idea what that is. It's up 24%, and then this little penguin coin is up 11%. But most shitcoins are down today, as well as Ethereum and Bitcoin, which of course are not shitcoins. They're amazing coins and tokens to be holding during this bear market.
I wonder what UMXM is. Actually, I don't care. It's probably
It's a
gonna
shitcoin.
be.
That's all.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
Okay, so it's going to be an interesting giveaway because we have Trader Boris, which is you, and then we have Nightbot, which is our beloved bot, which does basically just destroys the chat. Supposed to be moderator, but he bans our best viewers. So if Trader Boris wins or Nightbot, we're gonna double and we're gonna give away 2 accounts instead, okay? So let's hope that Boris or we can switch over to my beautiful wheel, Roman. Do this. Okay, I'm clicking. You guys ready? Let's go. Wait, is that okay? Wait, is that the same person? We got 3 people.
Are you sure your wheel is working?
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. Why do you? Why?
Because if you look back at the live streams, it really does like to give the same person several accounts.
Oh really? Has this person?
Or someone is extremely lucky. Also possible.
Probably. But we're gonna be switching up with the giveaway game is gonna be much better in future live streams. It didn't have much planned for today. All right, that's it. Yeah, so this I do see that we have a person with a very similar name 3 times in here, which makes no sense. We have to remove we have to do this again, because surely, okay, how normal is this name? Is it normal that we have 3 people with the same name in the live stream? I kind of think it is though, because I've seen this name in many different places.
Honestly, it's quite common in India, no?
Yeah, I think it's very, very common actually. It is, right?
Yeah.
Normally, yeah.
Well, congratulations. If you have this name, then I guess lucky you, you know. That's it. Okay, I'm just gonna we're gonna send the account to the the email that is listed on your account. But yeah, going forward, starting tomorrow, we're gonna have a proper way of doing these giveaways. This is getting a little bit ridiculous. Okay, guys, thank you for joining today. We will be back tomorrow for another wonderful live stream. Today had record views and record concurrent views, so I'm very happy for that, and happy and welcome to all the new people joining the channel. And I would very much appreciate it if you can hit that like and subscribe to the channel. We will be back tomorrow, everyone. Take care.
All right.
Take
See you
care.
guys. Take care. Stay
See you
safe.
guys.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone. See
All right.